I need to add a couple of things to the energy update that I just made. And it's about the shadow part that's maybe playing out for some of you now, as I'm noticing. What's happening is that in this transition to the new identity, some of you may be held back by some heavy burden, heavy weight from the past, and you're not so eager to let it go. How it may be playing out is that you're feeling unwell. Your body is feeling unwell in a way that is not gone yet. Over the weekend, that was a time for us to feel a little tired, but if you're still feeling that, if you have some emotional regrets, guilt, self-doubts about some decision in the past that you've made, this is the burden that I'm talking about that is holding you back. It's really important to understand that your future identity is your choice. It's you deciding that there is no one else outside of you, no God, no karma, no some sort of other people who will give you the happiness that you desire, or who are punishing you for your old mistakes. You need to understand that what you've done in the past was the only option you had at that time. And the self-doubt and guilt is what is actually creating the issue. There is this parting that's happening, parting from your old self, where you are sort of in between worlds, where old parts of your life are falling off. Maybe relationships are leaving, people are leaving. There's just something not the same as before, but you don't have the new life yet. And you're in this between zone where it's an empty space. An empty space is very uncomfortable for the mind. We're filling it up usually with different activities, but now those activities are no longer present, and the new type of reality hasn't structured itself yet. So in this empty space, we are meant to actually feel what's already in us. We're like filled up bottle where there's a lot of things, and so it's important to feel it, to empty ourselves even more. Empty ourselves from those past regrets, guilt, shame, the desires that are surface level. By surface level, I mean that they are not connected to our soul, where we act because we want to be perceived in a certain way, not because we truly know that this is the right thing for us and we believe in it. There is no that sense of assertiveness, but it's more of like, I don't want to look bad, right? I don't know what people gonna think about me. And this is the split between the two realities. This is what I was talking about 2 videos ago, where we are on this fast speed train to this new reality. This is also where I'm talking about this new earth energy versus the old paradigm. The old paradigm is founded in ego, survival. And as an ego, as a person who is separate from everyone else and everything else, thinking that this body is all there is, we need the external resources, so we outsourcing. But we are going into the new paradigm where we are soul embodied, where we understand that this body is not all, and that there is soul that keeps it alive, and that my only safety is in my soul. And then we are not outsourcing happiness and all of the other things that make us happy from outside. We are actually channeling from within, and it's a decision. And that's also the difference between the child mentality and adult mentality. Child is the old paradigm mentality, where there's somebody bigger and somebody smaller, where some things are happening to us. Versus the new mentality, where I'm an adult and I'm co-creating this experience. God is not a parent. God is an ancestor. It's in me. It's in every cell of my being. And I have now, as I'm walking on this path, the whole right to create based on what's been given to me, what's in my body, what's in my DNA, what's in my psychic like DNA. And now I'm creating through it. So there's so much more assertiveness and just believing and knowing that what I'm doing is right. And I don't mean that there is this sort of like I'm the only right person, etc., right? But it's the connection to the soul, and now not doubting, and at the same time forgiving yourself for any perceived mistakes in the past, correcting and moving forward. But there's no one outside of you that's punishing you. It's your own punishment. If you're holding on to the program of guilt, to the program of regret, you are punishing yourself. And that's the weight, that's the burden that you cannot bring in with you to this new earth, to the new paradigm that is available for us, that we're shape-shifting into. So this is my message for those of you who are going through more of a challenging time, because even though both of us on this train or maybe a rocket, right? Some of us are experiencing altitude sickness, and some of us are like easier to adjust to it. So we're all in it together. If you're listening to it, you're already on the path to this new reality of yourself. But in this empty space, we're all meant to surrender to the empty space. All of us are surrendering. No one here right now knows exactly where we're going, but some of us have a much more difficult time with accepting the not knowing. And if your mind's been all like very controlling and like, I know I will create, everything sort of like according to your control, then this is going to be a very much of a dissolvement into the emptiness, which can be very uncomfortable. So I'm sending you all of my best wishes, and we'll connect over the weekend.